Hey, Drew,
Yes.
who do you think would win in a staring contest, Leia or Luke?
Leia. Dude, chat. Rita's in here too? Hello. First time. Wow. Whoa. First time. Welcome. I'm excited for the time. Yeah, as long as there's one person in here, because it's like five minutes.
Hey, everyone, welcome back to another Kenobi-tastic episode of Empire Radio. I'm Jeremiah,
I'm Drew.
and we are back once again with a Kenobi breakdown, part 4. Oh, I forgot to upload the button.
Did
But
you upload that voicemail that came in like heck last minute tonight?
heck of last minute.
Like maybe an hour ago?
Oh, yeah. Will's
Okay.
was the last one. Okay.
Was it
I was
Will?
like,
You're like
um,
nervous.
yep, I got all the voicemails for tonight. We got some juicy ones.
Ooh, I'm excited for that. I'm also excited to break down this episode.
Me too. But so I didn't tell you this beforehand, but I wanted to quick do something at the beginning of this episode because we
All right.
normally leave it at the end. But I know we have a lot of new listeners
True.
because we look at the numbers, and right now we're like 3-4 times more our normal listenership right
We're on the
now,
up and up, so
on the up and ups. But if you're new or you only really pop in for like to break down stuff, um, we need your help with a special project that we've been talking about for months now, but it's not going as fast as I would hope. So I'm going to get it out at the beginning because I know a lot of people, once we get to the end of the episode with our socials and the stuff, it kind of gets missed. But there was about a 2-month span or so where we had fans send in voicemails, and they kind of did this amazing fan fiction story and we called it the VCU, the Voicemail Cinematic Universe. And it's a great story. This 3 or 4 people were sending in voicemails without talking to each other and made a great story without it contradicting. And I want to put it together as a video, but I want the fans to illustrate these voicemails. So, if you go in the link wherever you're at, the little description, there's a link to our links page, which is links with 2i/co/Empire Radio, and there should be a link in there for the voicemail cinematic illustration project. And right there, you have a Google Doc with every description of every voicemail, timestamp in each episode, blah, blah, blah. And if you are an artist, if you are a painter or a sculptor, if you can do digital art, if you want to make a Lego set, diorama, whatever they call them, we want you to help us illustrate these voicemails. And so there's like 90 some voicemails, and I'm not going to put this thing together until we get enough voicemail illustrations. So we had everything in that Google Docs. Everything is described and explained how it works. But they send us an email with your art submissions, and we'll definitely use them because we need a lot. So I just want to get that out right away. We'll maybe talk about it again at the end. But if you're an artist, we need your help, and we'll definitely
we need you.
we need you because the story was written by our fans through the voicemail, so we want our fans to illustrate it. And I only have a handful of images now, so don't feel like I don't need help, but we need you. So all right, let's get a little burb, get out of the way, but we can jump into the featured program now. But Drew, I know you just hot off listening to it. You just stopped listening, and we jumped into this now. So, what are your fresh hot takes of this episode? What did you think?
Yeah, because you get to watch them twice, sit a couple hours, ponder a little bit. What time
Yep.
did you watch it this morning?
Like 7:15, and then I went and ran errands, and I watched it again this afternoon, and then I watched reaction channels on YouTube.
Oh, so you're prepared.
Always.
Okay, well, must be nice. Yeah, so yeah, like Jeremiah just said, I literally was super late to the party today. Just life is kind of crazy right now. So I watched it and like 3 minutes went by, or probably five, and then we started this thing. So it's very fresh. Overall, though, I enjoyed it. People in my personal family chat were like, "What? This episode was a waste of time." I 100% disagree. I thought this episode was really good. The development of Leia even more was really good, and I like that you could tell that she is force sensitive already, in the sense of like she was able to stop being her mind being read by a Jedi who, or not Jedi, Inquisitor. That is what she does really
for
well
for a living.
for a living. I was gonna, yeah, it's kind of weird, but yeah. So it's like it is really cool to see her do that, and then especially the end when she was holding Obi's hand. It was so. I didn't cry this episode, but it was very heartwarming, and I loved the little tease, like the not tease, but like the little reminders of Star Wars when Obi-Wan swimming with that thing
Oh
that he
yeah.
was in episode 1 was really cool. And there's just a lot of, it was just a fun episode. Like nothing about it was like I don't like this episode. Like I enjoyed it. I love the back tank scene a lot, with going back and forth between him and Vader in the tanks. Like I thought that was really, really cool concept. I wish we would have got a flashback or something that we haven't seen, but maybe we will now. I don't know. It's weird. And yeah, I don't know. I didn't think it was a waste of time or anything. I thought it was enjoyable. So yeah.
Yeah, I really like this episode too, and I know a lot of people have not been liking this episode.
Hmm.
It's like I don't get. I really like it. I think we got tons of information and tons of like
Oh yeah,
world
I didn't even
building.
talk about the
Yeah,
the
like we
whole
got all
Jedi
kinds
stuff.
of. It just adds to the story so much.
Hmm.
And like yeah, it was the shortest episode so far this
I was gonna
season.
say my only complaint is that, like, I swear at one point someone said that we were promised like long episodes in the show.
Well, everyone thinks that every Marvel or Star Wars show is an hour-long episode, like every episode. Like that's I don't know where they get that. So like
Well, I
everyone's
think people were
expecting
just
hour-long.
expecting that because the show is only 6 episodes. So everyone's like, it has to be long. It's gonna be the long episodes, like an hour each. We're gonna get 6 hours worth of content. And mm, there's episodes of like Boba Fett has been way longer, and we only have 2 episodes left. Now they, I don't know if it's 100% confirmed, but people, like, it's like all over the web that there's season 2 coming.
That's the rumor. The only reason they said that was because when at Star Wars Celebration, when Ewan McGregor had his like stage interview thing, like on that little mini stage,
Mm-hmm.
like he's like, "You guys are gonna love episodes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9." Like, so he like kind of like was saying that like there's gonna be more than just 6 episodes, like implying there's a second season.
Oh.
But I think he was just hyped to be on stage talking to the people, and I look, they definitely could do more content because like
What if we're like they get us 6 episodes, and then like at the fifth like next week they're like, oh, by the way, it's actually going to like there's just more content we just didn't
that'd
hold it.
be that'd be cool,
That'd be pretty dope.
but yeah.
And
Anyway,
they
I for
did,
this what
real quick. Didn't we get confirmed dates on Bad Batch?
uh September 28th,
Yes,
which is
the day
also a
before my
Wednesday,
birthday. Hmm.
So Andor and Bad Batch are gonna be on the same days release. It looks like.
No,
Well, Andor's on the 31st of August, and that's a Wednesday. So if they're doing Wednesdays for that for
that would be
12 weeks,
okay. That would be dumb.
so I don't know if they're gonna switch days like for one, so it's like a Wednesday, Friday, or what. But we're gonna really have to tweak
Oh
our
Lord,
schedule.
I
Like
hope that's not real.
so,
Y'all want double content, and I understand, but I don't know. When I looked at the numbers of all the stuff we did over that weekend, I feel like you guys are kind of still behind on that weekend of madness of podcasting. So I don't know if 2 episodes a week is the best. I mean, we're gonna have to do it, but 2 episodes a day.
Yeah, we're definitely not gonna do 2 episodes in one day.
Uh,
We'll have to,
yeah.
to break them up. But anyway,
Anyways,
um, even though this was the shortest episode, I felt like it was a very full and satisfying episode. Like,
yeah,
um,
I was worried you're gonna hate it, but
why? Why would I hate it?
I mean,
Just
I don't know.
because I hate the first half of A New Hope doesn't mean I hate
You
everything.
you hated like the first half of the first episode, didn't you?
What?
Did you like the
No.
first one? No, you didn't like the second one,
The
right?
second one I liked, but wasn't as much as the first one.
Yeah.
But I don't
I don't know.
know.
I just thought like you
This
might not
episode
like
might be
it.
my favorite one so far. Like last week was amazing,
Last week is definitely still my favorite.
but this one is like,
But see, I don't know though. I do like this. I loved when the Vader stuff. When he came
right.
in and choked the crap out of her, I was like, "Oh, he's gonna kill
That
her
was
right now. Let's
that was
go!"
scarier than Rogue One
It was
hallway
so
scene.
scary,
He's
bro.
like
I was like,
charging down the hallway.
he was like,
This it's like he
"Ah!"
like force pushed and grabbed her at the same time. Like
It was so dope.
it was so. But
So
we'll talk about that
yeah,
later.
gosh,
But like I don't have any complaints about this episode that like I can think of. Like maybe like nitpicky things, but that's just whatever. Like it doesn't
Mhm.
matter. So I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't think this episode deserves as much hate as it's getting.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I mean, I don't know how much it's getting because I haven't really paid attention yet, but I know that it has because like even people in my family were like, "This episode was a waste of time." I was like, "Stop talking! I haven't seen it," and they're definitely wrong. Like the casual Star Wars fans here, come on, guys, chill.
Right.
But
Yeah. But anyway, might as well just
break it down.
jump into scene by scene. So it starts off with Kenobi being in and out of consciousness on the ship that Tala had, and it's just they're on their way to Jabim and them landing on Jabim, and then him getting put in a Bacta tank. And so like I don't know, we didn't really get to see a lot of Jabim, but it looked like a cool
Yeah,
another sandy planet that they're on. Like
I
whatever. But
I like. It's cool to see the development of these characters because like they're not rebels yet. Like they
right.
are, but
Right.
like
They even say we're not soldiers. Like they're
yeah, like
just smuggling
exactly.
force sensitive kids. And then
They're
like
just and because of what happened to that guy's wife, which was such a cool concept.
right.
I love that. So
That wives get killed.
no, I love that that's
I
how
know.
they tied it,
Right.
and also he's an amazing actor, like one of my like favorite actors, and his dad is my favorite rapper. So
Is
there's
he
also
even
that.
in stuff? Like I didn't even.
What? Yeah, he's in lots of movies.
Oh,
He's in Straight Outta Compton as his dad,
oh,
which
I
is
know that,
amazing.
but I've
No,
never.
he's in other movies. And I think he's on some episodes of like certain shows on TV and stuff like that.
Oh,
But he is. I think he has another major role in like an action film. But I just think he's a really really good actor. And now we see him, and at one point we're gonna see Ice Cube in the show too, which is kind of cool. So
people were thinking that this guy was gonna play Quinlan Voss, but guess
oh
not. I was
no,
like, people were saying like, what? Okay, whatever. I guess they can make it work, I guess, but definitely not that kind
maybe
of
his
role here.
dad will.
Oh, gosh, no. Well, I don't know, maybe, but yeah, I just don't think that they look like they're not even like the same race. I think Quinlan Voss is more like white Hispanic. Like I don't know, like not black. It's like I don't know. They can make it work, whatever. But anyway, I liked the environment that they're in, the planet. But then when he gets thrown into the back to tank, um, it was I don't know. Maybe this was like the only weird scene. Like they were kind of like he was having like flashes back to when he was on Mapuzo and fighting Vader, and
Mm.
then flashing between Vader being in a back to tank and Kenobi being in a back to tank, like paralleling everything. So I don't know. It's kind of weird. Like it was just like a mix of scenes and emotions. That I guess Kenobi was still in and out of it, so I guess it kind of makes sense that he's just kind of going through that. But I don't know. It was just very like. Cause I wonder if Vader was also having flashes too. Do you think? Did you see it that way, or do you think Kenobi was the only one having flashes? Because Vader was like tossing and turning in the water too.
Yeah, I think maybe he was. I think if anything, I feel like maybe they were talking to each other via through the Force or something.
They could definitely probably sense each other. Like if they
Yeah.
can sense each other's like distress or
Hmm.
imbalance, like maybe they could just
Like he knows
feel
Kenobi's
that,
alive, obviously.
right? Because he sees Ned B
Mm.
rescue him.
Which everyone, there's so many people that think Nebby's wrecker inside of him, and that's why he's not saying anything. Have you heard that?
What?
Yes. Somebody, you know who that is their
He
thoughts.
he said that?
Yes, that's his
Okay,
theory. I think he's
okay.
on
So I
drugs,
can
bro.
tell that it's clearly a person
In
in
a
a costume,
as a droid though.
right? But like, that doesn't mean that Wrecker is.
Yeah, so
That's ridiculous.
yeah, yeah.
What is he
Think
even
that
doing over there on that channel? Like,
I don't know,
what
bro.
was that theory he had? Oh, that in episode 2 when Kenobi was like, "You remind me of someone," and said it was Satine. I'm like, what?
Yes.
That's the
Like
stupid. This is even
such
stupider than that.
the biggest stress of all time, and this is even worse. Like
Oh gosh.
it's like
But yeah,
whatever.
so Kenobi, he's panicking in the water, and he wakes up, and then he jumps out of the water like to the top, freaking out, and like Tala's like, "You're not fully healed. You gotta. It takes time. Blah blah blah." And then, but immediately he's like, "Where's Leia?" And then it flashes over to um, the Fortress Inquisitorius, which is on the planet Nur, or is it the planet or
Yeah.
the moon?
Moon.
Moon.
Water
So
moon.
water moon, and then
It's
this
the dumbest name of all time, but
Nur.
Ner.
Oh, there's so many planets. You
I
gotta come
don't
up with
just come on
random.
something cooler than Ner. Like, oh, I
I don't
get
know.
some nerds, or
Okay,
you're a nerd.
but um, so but which is also Mustafar is right next to that moon, so they're
Yes.
both moons of the planet, and
Hmm.
so Nur is a water planet, and Mustafar is a lava planet, which is interesting. But um,
Yo,
Leia,
Snow in the chat said nerd or ner. It's like two more R's.
right? But Leia is in the Inquisitorius facility, and she is just in a holding cell with troopers, and she's, you know, using her status as like trying to like argue like my father is a senator, I am a princess of Alderaan, blah blah blah, and then the third sister comes in. Oh, that's a cute story or whatever, and then she says you have no rights here, and
Hmm.
so like so this episode, most of this episode is, um, you know, Leia being interrogated and almost tortured to get information to find out where the path is and where Kenobi would be. Um, but so after this scene, it goes back to Jabim. This is where we meet Roken, which is the guy's name. Um, and so he seems to be like the main leader of this smuggling group. And because Tala goes to her or goes to him saying, "Hey, we need to get this girl. She's in trouble." Blah blah blah. And this is kind of what we heard the backstory where he seemingly married maybe a former Jedi or just a Force sensitive woman, uh, a general Force user. Like she wasn't ever a Jedi, but he said that he knew who she was before they got married, and they knew the risks, and but the Inquisitors found her anyway, even though they were trying to hide. So, um, because Kenobi was like, "You don't know what the Empire's capable of," and this is the story that he gives. Like, yes, I do know, and because I know, I'm gonna help you. Like, even though he doesn't want to, because it could blow their whole operation. he's willing to help. So like I like the story. Like, and you were saying earlier how you like his story to be like that's his motivation.
Yeah.
And so the first time I misheard the story. I thought it was his daughter that was taken, but it was his
Oh.
wife. I was like, oh, that makes it different. But because if it was
Mhm.
his child that was taken, I thought that would make it more relatable to like, okay, I need to save a child.
Yeah.
But wife is just as important. So I guess it's
True. And like, yeah, they could have done child, but it's interesting to see the concept that he pretty much ended up marrying either a force sensitive person or a Jedi that
right.
escaped.
I would
And
like to say it
so,
was a Jedi.
yeah, me too. That's what I was leaning for towards more. Like he married a Jedi or a former Jedi, I should say. I guess they're not Jedis anymore, but he married one, and then she got killed or captured, and so maybe she was down there. Maybe that she was one of the ladies that we saw.
I was thinking that too because there was one that kind of lingered on a woman
Yeah, for a hot minute. I'm
like
like,
longer than the other ones. Like I was like,
well, and I was talking to the chat. Like, I was like, am I supposed to recognize all these people?
there's one person that you
There's
should
one
reckon.
person, yes, but besides that, I was like, am I supposed to keep recognizing all of them? But they said no, no one else did. I was like, okay, good, because I don't recognize any of them.
Right. And so when Roken decides that he's going to help, they do have like some basic schematics or whatever of the Inquisitorius facility. And so it's like, all we know is it's there. This is like before it was even fully built. Like, so we don't know what's inside. No one knows.
Yeah.
It's, full of Inquisitors.
They
Like,
don't know how deep it is either, really. Like, they
right.
don't really know much. But also, Roken and Nerd, why don't you just switch those two names? So much cooler. Give the
Call
guy.
up.
Well, yeah,
Because if
sure.
people are
Call
calling
him
him
Nerd.
Nerd, that would be his
So what? Who cares? It's better than
internet
having a planet, Nerd.
internet
Roken as
trolls
a
would
planet is
call him
super
Nerd
cool.
all the time. Roken is a cool name. You can
That's
name
what I
it.
mean.
You can name your next son that, Drew. Roken.
I'll
Roken
pitch it.
Shoemaker.
I'll just be like, oh, that's a cool name. I like Roken. What does it mean? And then
And
not
Stephanie's
tell her
like,
that it's
I
in
was
Star
thinking
Wars.
Nerd. We should name him
No,
Nerd.
God, no way. No, I married the first one, so I don't have any real major point like choice in the next kid.
Okay, but anyway, so they don't really know anything about the facility other than it's there. And Tala says that she's gonna go with Kenobi, just because she still has officer clearance, but they don't know if her identity was known
Yeah,
yet
she doesn't know she was
from
found out.
Puzo. So she's like, well, we're gonna get there and we're just gonna wing it, basically, which is a terrifying thing because if you're wrong,
You're screwed.
you're kind of screwed. um, and then
And Kenobi would never know because it'd be swimming underwater, waiting for a response. So she got caught right away.
yeah, that was. I still thought. I think it was kind of. It makes sense because I know, like in Jedi Fallen Order, you do the same thing where you have to swim in.
Oh,
But
really? The same.
I don't know if it was the same like spot, but I remember. Yeah, I think you have to swim in, and so I guess it's
It's
consistent
canon.
with the canon video game, but I don't know. I was one of the reaction channels I was watching, or like when he was swimming. It'd been funny if like he swam past Tala when she was trying to hack in, like because it was like, oh hey, I gotta go away. You see
Like
that?
hide.
No.
No, I thought it would have been funny if we would have saw a we saw that big fish right away, and then we would have saw another fish.
Oh, they
Like
should have
eat
done that.
it.
Had a
Like
bigger
why
fish
wouldn't
come
they do?
by.
Yes, that would have been
Like
so cool. Like right in front of him as he's swimming, this
they,
giant fish gets
or
eaten.
like the fish came by, or he swam by a big fish came by, and then a bigger
And
one
then
came
it
behind
pans
him.
to it, and then another one just eats it.
Right. It should have just.
Yeah, I don't
That
know.
would have been.
That would have been funny,
It would have been
cool. Like,
funny. Like whatever though. Someone else said it'd have been funny if like he's swimming down there and Jar Jar's on it. Misa Obi-Wan.
oh, that would have been dope. I would have probably freaked out.
It would give
Best cameo. He's like, "Why are you here? I'm
It'd
just
be
hanging out."
more points to him being a Sith Lord because he's hanging out with
Oh,
the Inquisitors.
100%, dude. There's no. That is where everyone's mind would go be like, all right, all right, all right. Why are you here?
But okay. Anyway, yes. So she agrees to help get them in. And on their way, flying in, Kenobi is trying to use the Force. He's grabbing this little object, whatever it was, and it's really slow moving, like super weak, like same as like Luke trying to summon his lightsaber in the
Mm-hmm.
cave on Hoth. Like it was just like
Yep.
moving very slowly, and then it comes. But um, it was very interesting because Tala was like, your body still needs to heal, but that's not the only thing that needs to heal. And
She got him on that one.
but he was like, some things are too difficult to forget. Like I think he was implying like the trauma from his past that's like stopping him from using it.
Yeah.
Um, which okay, but she's like, well, you gotta learn to forget really quick because we're gonna need you, and
Yeah,
so
you better figure this out really fast right now.
right, and so something that some people were saying that I'll just bring it up now rather than later, but the only time we see him use the Force like well
Mm-hmm.
is when he has to use it to help Leia in a moment, like when she's
Mm-hmm.
falling, um, and
He's holding
then
the glass.
holding the glass, even using the lightsaber, like in the hallways, deflecting bullets, like
Dude,
for the first time
yeah,
and ever. Like he was still rusty, but like him
he
doing
was
it
a
in
lot
those
better than like
moving that
last
little thing,
episode.
like moving that little thing in this episode, like he could barely move
Y-
it.
Yeah, so you know what I thought about after the fact? In the last episode, you know how he had to do it with two hands and Vader only had to do one? You think the lightsaber was heavy?
No, I just think Vader was just that much stronger.
Oh, you don't think it was
He
like
needed he needed two
he was
hands
so
to.
rusty to hold it up?
No, I don't think it was that.
It's
It'll
not
be
like the
it'll
dark
be
saber.
it'll be cool if they like explored that, but
Hmm.
like I think it's just because Vader's so strong that he couldn't
I yeah yeah.
hold it back one with one arm. But
I get that. I just wonder if maybe that was another factor too. If it was
it
just
could be like
heavy.
I don't know if they'll ever explore that, but it's
Hmm.
definitely a possibility of theories and whatnot. Um, but it was also interesting because like Jedi are not supposed to have attachments, but it
Hmm.
seems like his attachment to Leia is making him stronger with using the Force. Like it's
Yeah.
making it flow easier. So I don't know. I think that's really interesting that it's the thing that he was supposed to avoid as a Jedi is what's actually giving him his strength and power, and
Well, and
regaining
you
it
know
now.
that he has attachment towards the Jedi as a whole too, because even when he was like in that room last episode and he was touching the Jedi emblem, and he was like talking about the other Jedi that was in there and stuff like that. So it's like you know that he does miss that and he's kind of cut it off, but he has attachment to it,
Right.
which you're not really supposed to have either. So it's pretty cool.
Right. So moving forward, it goes to Leia and the third sister again, and the third sister explains how I think it was 2 years prior or something like that. She discovered, or I don't know if it was her or if it was just the Inquisitors in general. I can't remember exactly, but they discovered this rumor about something called the path of the secret path, but they didn't really think it was real. Like it was just a rumor to them. But now, when she found this hiding space last episode,
Slash
like
walkway.
it's now confirmed. So now she's
Mhm.
fixated on finding not only Kenobi but this whole entire network of paths of where Jedi and Force sensitive individuals are being smuggled. So I think that's cool. Like that's definitely like they could do a show of just like the called the path, Star Wars the path, just Jedi like starring Quinlan Voss, like he's leading the whole
True.
show, just
That'd be
saving
sick.
kids and finding them new identities and hiding them, and that would be really cool. But this is where third sister's trying to manipulate Leia and all that jazz, but Leia's like, I don't know anything about this path. Like because she knows that she knows everything there is. Like it's on Jabeam. Like this is like the main hub is Jabeam, and knows that Kenobi would probably be there too. Or wait, sorry. Third sister told her that Kenobi is dead, so she doesn't believe that Kenobi is out there to help her, but she doesn't want to like turn in the people that tried to save her. So, I think it's very interesting, this whole path thing that the third sisters, because she's trying to like add that to her resume. Like I found the path, like I can, and we'll find out at the later on at the end of the episode that we can find Kenobi and the path also all in one swoop by using the tracker. So
I was really hoping that we would have got like a flashback of her when she started talking about that.
Well, yeah, because later on she does say that she had a droid once. So I thought we were gonna maybe get something, but I think that's more evidence that maybe she was a Padawan. But I don't know if Padawans had droids or if it was more you had to be. I don't know, because Ahsoka had, I forget her droid's name, but I guess she kind of had one, but she was more at the top level of the Padawans because she was a Padawan technically, but she was a teenager. She was doing missions on her own. She was working with. She
was more ranked.
She was
she was Padawan, but she wasn't like
she was an apprentice.
a
So like,
I feel like they're like younglings in that.
Right.
Thing.
So I don't know if younglings before they became apprentices would have had their own droids, but maybe if she wasn't a Padawan, then maybe it was just another like small little thing like Lola or like a BD one or something small like that. I don't know.
I doubt she had like a R unit or anything like that.
Right. But you could tell. So you could still tell that the third sister had a sense of loss, of having. Like, she kind of felt like I had a life once and I had a droid,
and it was taken from me like everything else.
Right.
Which I was like hoping we we're gonna get like a slight flashback when she said that line. That would have been cool. I want to see like let's say next episode we start out with Order 66 or like right after Order 66 with that kid stuff, if that's her. Pretty sure it's her. Still convinced it's her. We started like that and we get like a flashback and then it goes to her like waking up from a dream and that's how like episode 4 started. And then they get notified that the plan landed or something for the tracker.
I feel like episode 6 would do that. If they would start the first episode with Order 66, and then the last episode would have.
You want to put a quarter on it?
Another quarter, sure.
I mean, I'm one up right now, so
if we get a flashback of the third sister, it will be at the beginning of part 6. Sure, another quarter. But let's see. And so then Tala arrives at the facility, just flies in. I guess you can just do that, like as long as you have a ship, whatever. I feel like that check-in should have been right on the landing pad.
It should have been like, like right on the landing pad, or even like that one check-in that was like on the before you can even get in the planet. You know what I mean? Like in Rogue One.
Well, they don't have that because like Kenobi's like, there's no security on this planet. Like no, like they're too foolish to like.
Yeah, sure. That's
but
why.
Like
there
either
was
way,
no night
like,
there. It's like
she was already in the facility.
You'd be dumb if you didn't.
Yeah, she was already.
I mean, she was, but she was at a clearance level where anyone could go. She wasn't like in it, you know.
No, she was definitely in it. She just wasn't allowed to like she had a checkpoint was to get into like a more restricted area.
Yeah,
But
that's what I
like she
mean.
could still, but like
It's like when you go visit the Pentagon, you can go in the lobby, you can go do stuff, you can go on the tour, but you can't go in the basement where they hide all this stuff about
yeah.
aliens. Like,
I'm just
you can't
saying
go
this
down
facility
there.
is way different than that. Like this is not open to the public. Like it shouldn't. If I ran things, if I
What?
was head of security at this facility, if you land, you're immediately getting checked.
I mean,
But
that's what it should be, but like they didn't have the best security, but I also think they also had a lot of lightsabers on that thing, so it's no one
so,
really
oh, anyway,
messes with
speaking of a
them.
lot of lightsabers, so in previous episodes, like, and you can see it in this episode too, but in that like conference room where the Inquisitors hang out and like argue with each other,
Mm-hmm.
like if you look at like around the edges, like the countertop, like around it's covered with just lightsabers.
Shut no, I didn't see
Yeah,
this.
because it's like red paneling or whatever,
Yeah.
and there's all these lightsabers just laid down on these
Stop.
panels.
Are you for real? How have I
Yeah,
not
and there's like
noticed?
some other things like some think there's like the Padawan helmets. It's a couple of those, but I think they're a little different. But there's like memorabilia of these Jedi that they've killed, and it is their lightsabers right there. Like I was hoping Tala was gonna grab some of them and say, "Hey, I'll bring these back to Jabim, so when we have some Jedi that lost their sabers, we'll have some sabers for them." Like I thought that would have been cool if she grabbed some of those, but yes. So anyway,
So those lines around the red, those are all lightsabers?
yeah, I
Dude,
believe
that
so.
is totally a helmet.
Well, there's helmets, but they're not necessarily the Padawan helmets. The Padawan helmets look a little different, I think. At least from the one shot that I saw, but maybe somewhere
Oh,
else
those
in
are
that room.
totally lightsabers.
Yeah.
Couldn't she just grab one of those and start going ham?
Well, she can't stop. If she started doing that, she'd get overwhelmed and she'd get killed right away. She's not a Jedi, but she still should have taken some. I thought it would have
Mm-hmm.
been
For
nice,
sure.
but
Also, it was cool to know that like those things inside of their jackets were like their IDs
well, it was
clearance.
just well, we see that though.
Well, I
The
know we've
little
seen it.
cylinder.
I just honestly didn't know that's what that was.
Oh, you didn't know they kept them right there. You just thought they had
No,
it in their
I was
pocket
like, what are those things?
because you recognize the cylinder
No, I know
things, right?
because my toy from like whatever the
Your Tarkin.
super my Tarkin has them. He has he has high clearance because she only has two things. Tarkin has four.
Well, he is a Grand Moff, so he's right at the top. But I really like the scene when she goes through the checkpoint. I thought she really, I don't know, more and more. I like this Tala character. Like I really, because if you think about it, because of her, like her impression on Leia, like is because of like why Leia is part of the Resistance, rebellion. Like,
Oh yeah,
like
she plants that seed for sure.
so, like she's like I don't know if she's gonna survive this series, but I hope she does. But Tala is definitely the first major influence in Leia's development
You know what'd be
as
cool if she
a
does
leader.
survive if we are able to see her in Andor.
That would be cool
That'd be sick. I
because
have a feeling though she gets killed.
Andor would be 5 years after this,
Mm-hmm.
so or 4 years after this actually. So
Yeah.
it's totally plausible. Like I would really love to
It's
see that.
possible. It'd be cool. I do think she gets canned.
Unfortunately,
Vader probably just chokes her out.
but well, she'll probably like jump in front of Leia and take a shot, or
I just want Leia to get home and then we can fight. Like
you just want to see the
I just want
lightsaber
to see.
duel of
Yeah,
history.
and I want to see the reunion of her and her dad. Ugh, and then I'll cry
Do you
again.
think? Do you think her cousin's gonna be happy to see her?
I don't care about that scrub.
You've seen the memes of like, it's a picture of him, and then the next picture is of the Death Star blowing up, and it's like That's what happens when you have an overprotective father.
Damn, no, that's hilarious. Like,
um,
oh, he gets his own.
but anyway,
We know how his life turns out. Damn.
right. But
Oh, I gotta make a meme now. I have an idea.
all right. But during the security check, she threatens to report this other guy, this head of security, to the Grand Inquisitor, which.
Which kind
So when she said that, I was like, "Oh, are we gonna get a little information?" Because I thought that maybe if the Grand Inquisitor was dead,
wouldn't he know that?
like he would say that, like, "Well, he's dead, sir," and then that would like blow her cover in that moment. I thought that's what was gonna
I
happen.
thought was gonna happen.
But the fact that he didn't react to like that, like thinking that she was dead, means one, either he's still alive, or they just haven't released that information to the general public that he's dead. But
Yeah, I'm so confused what's happening right now.
I think he's still alive. Unfortunately, I still want him to be dead, and then the new Grand Inquisitor would be the one from Rebels. But more and more, I don't think that's gonna happen. I think he's just chilling in a back to tank somewhere. But she uses her ranking to say, "Hey, let me through." Blah blah blah, and he lets her through. And I think it's cool because at the end of the episode, when the three of them are exiting and leaving, going through that same corridor there, you see another officer like yelling at that checkpoint guy. Like you see it in the background, he's getting yelled at, like, "This is your
For
fault."
real?
Yeah, it's really quick, but that was a cool little detail that they put in there. That guy
Like
is
during the
definitely,
fighting scene.
as they're walking out, like when, like,
Oh.
so I think it's like when the fifth brother is walking in there, like locked his place down, like that scene. But I don't know. I just always like those little tiny details that they didn't have to put in there, but it's still there.
Oh yeah, no, holy crap, he's getting yelled by 2 officers. Like hardcore, poor guy.
Poor guy. He's just trying to pay some bills and provide for his family, and now he's got screwed. But yes.
Yeah,
And that
that's a cool detail, right? That like you would probably pass over, but that's why I wish they would have done the fish thing. That's like my only thing.
oh
The fish thing would have been dope.
yeah. So she gets to a whatever computer station. I don't even know what these things are called, but first of all, she's like whispering into this thing. The guy next to her could definitely hear her. Like, come
The
on
guy's
now.
like, "What are you doing?"
Right. Okay. Like if you're going like talking to the thing like secretly, like obviously, whatever. But so she breaks in, and this is when we see Kenobi swimming underwater, and I'm surprised. All these years later, after living on a desert planet, he still knows how to swim. And that water is so deep where he is. Like,
Dude, there's no way his head didn't blow up, bro.
right? Like he would be crushed by the weight of the water. But maybe he just
maybe the force is helping his
yep, he's pushing the water with the force.
Maybe it works that way. I don't know.
But she opens up a entry point. Like I don't even know why it's there, but they open up an entry point, and he just swims up. And that stormtrooper, that's to be the worst job in the whole entire facility.
To guard one door in the middle of nowhere
at the bottom of the thing by himself, like. What do you?
It's probably super chill though, but probably
so
boring as heck.
You just stand there holding your gun, like.
Yeah.
That'd be the worst.
Well, hopefully he was listening to our podcast.
He probably maybe, hopefully, but it's just one of those things. Like, he probably like, oh man, this job is gonna be so easy. Like, this is like the safest, the safest part in the whole facility, and then he gets killed. Like,
then
like he gets his
poor guy.
Like, you hear his neck break. Like he breaks his neck and then throws him in the water. Like
thrown and then probably eaten by a fish.
Like, bro, like just put him in a headlock and put him to sleep. Like you don't gotta.
No, you gotta kill him, bro.
I don't know. I felt bad for the guy. He's just trying to get health insurance for his family. Like, but
can't feel bad for these troopers.
And I thought he was gonna. For some reason, I thought he was gonna put on the trooper
I was gonna
armor.
say, why didn't he put on the armor?
Like, I thought
Like,
that's what
you're
he's
not
gonna do.
stealthy at all, bro.
Right.
Like, if you would have put on the armor and then walk around,
Well,
I
maybe
don't
he
know.
was just knew maybe he had a premonition that he was gonna do this on the Death Star someday, sneaking around, so he just wanted to practice.
True.
This was just him practicing.
It felt like that, like the way he was walking and stuff. Like,
Right.
it really felt like you're watching a New Hope part. It was
Right.
pretty cool.
Yes. And so after this, it goes back to the third sister and Leia, and I think this is the funniest line in the whole series so far when third sister's trying to mind probe Leia, and Leia is like, "Are we having a staring contest?" Like,
Hmm.
I laughed so hard when that happened. Dude,
She's
Leia's
a
the best.
beast.
So, everyone's wondering, why was she able to resist this so well? So there's two options. One, a mind trick slash
Only
mind
works on
probe,
a weak mind.
only on a weak mind, and so she's just such a strong-willed person that she can resist it, or the Force is able to help her resist, or a combination of the both.
I think a
Like,
combination.
probably a combination, but I feel also her strong will was more so than the Force.
Yeah, like I was thinking about that because if it was like fully forced using, like she would I feel like what's her name would figure out that she was force
Right.
sensitive and
Right.
then just kill her or keep her.
Right.
So I think it was mostly like it could have. I think it's a little bit of both, but yeah, like definitely it's because she does have a weak mind, and like we know by how smart she is in general, but in this show, like this, she's a beast, dude. Like she's such a good actor, and her character and the writing of her character is really well done, I think, and I don't know.
Yeah.
There's nothing about her that makes me not think it's Leia, which it
Right.
means they're doing a really good job.
Like, what I really liked it's like last episode, Leia asks Layla, you know, is it hard to lie? Like,
Hmm.
kind of like asking her about her experience being resistant. And then here, especially like at the end of the episode, like when they're in the transport leaving, like there's a moment where I think Layla says something or whatever, but Leia is just thinking. Like, you can tell that she's thinking.
Hmm.
And so, like, this is where she realizes the Empire is evil and bad, and this is a major learning experience for her. And, like, I know this is the Kenobi show, but I feel like this is low key
The
the
Leia show.
the Leia show, because this is more about Leia than it is about Kenobi, and her character development like starts here. Like, this is where this issue is what caused her to be the leader she was
Yeah.
in the rebellion. And at her age, like, I can just, the expressions that this actress has, like, was her name Vivian? Is that the actress's name? Vivian.
Hmm.
Vivian. She just her expressions and just her deep thought that she can put on, and her observing things. Like, this girl is a beast. She's the goat. Like,
Yeah, she's good. I like her a lot.
yeah, I like her a lot. So I don't know. I don't know. This is the Leia show, not the Kenobi show. But um, after she resisted the mind reading, um, so she still has Lola, which was weird that Lola was still on her, and maybe that's just because the whole time the third sister wanted to use the droid
Yeah.
as a tracker from the beginning. Like, she knew that she could use this, so she just let her keep it, just as insurance purposes in a sense. Um, so when Lola came out and went under the table, so the first time I watched it, I thought Lola like rushed at the third sister to attack her, and then she caught it.
Oh.
But maybe the second time, like, maybe the third sister just pulled it from underneath the table.
I think the third sister just pulled it. I think what was going to happen was the droid was gonna leave and try to get out and tell someone that that's where they were,
Okay, yeah,
and
because
then she sensed the droid and she pulled it out of the
yeah,
table.
I think that's probably what happened. The first time I was like, oh dang, Lola went out there to like
What's
shock
she
the
gonna
third
do?
shock
Shock or
shocker, and so
flap
they
its
could,
ears at it?
yeah, but here, this is where she says she had a droid once, but she also said everything was taken from her.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it was said that she was found in the gutter or taken from the gutter by the Grand Inquisitor,
Yeah.
but it's probably because she lost everything and then ended up in the gutter, maybe. And so maybe everything she lost was the Jedi Order. Not sure. It's still up in the air, but I still think she was that Padawan. Um, so then after this, when Kenobi is snooping around, he runs into seeker droids, and like Lola on not Lola, Tala on the map, like, oh, it's covered in them, and you just see the red dots all over the screen. And I was like, this is like a video game level. Like, there's
Yeah.
all these seeker droids just going around these hallways, and you gotta like watch the map and like,
It reminded me of Pac-Man. Like you get to like weaving out like from that view.
right. So I don't know. I thought it was a video game level in a sense, but whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like, why do they gotta have these droids floating around? Why don't they just like put a camera on the wall that does the same thing? Like, I don't know.
More
I know it's
more
supposed to like
cool.
attack, like can shoot and like shock, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Just
I mean,
just put some cameras in. And then if
it's
someone
good
gets detected, you
security,
just drop
man.
down some walls and then lock them in. But I guess it's not a good show if it does it like that. Um, so during this, Tala is talking to Kenobi and explaining him everything and whatnot. But then another officer realizes that Tala is not supposed to be at that station. Like, that's not your station, and says, "All right, come with me." Blah blah blah. Um, and then so Tala is taken away, but then she kills that officer in the back. I don't know, killed or knocked him out, which is crazy because she goes back to the workstation and there's other officers still at their desk.
Mm,
I'm like, how would you kill this guy and then no one noticed? Like, I don't know.
she's a beast, man.
I guess, but
She was meant to be a rebel. That's for sure.
right. But then when she gets back on the comm, like some troopers hear that when Kenobi's hiding.
Mm-hmm.
Which did you notice? Like when he like jumps to like hide, like gets out of the hallway, like there's no way those troopers didn't see him jump out of the hallway. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Maybe they just like turned the corner right when that happened, and that was like right at an intersection. But I know you can't see well in those helmets,
Yeah, not well at all.
but whatever. So while he's hiding behind something, they hear this comm and start looking for him, and then Kenobi is able to move a little thing in the distance to make a sound, and then they go after that. Which I think, did he do that in A New Hope? I can't remember.
Yeah. Yeah, because he kept shutting the doors and moving stuff around. And then when they're in the beam before he shut it out, he made a noise, and then the troopers walked off, and then he snuck around them and shut down the thing.
Okay, yeah, but then also he did like the same motion, like with his hand that
Mm-hmm.
um, live action Ahsoka does in Mando season
Oh
2.
yeah,
Like when she's like at the opening, like she does that same little thing to like break a stick or something. So I don't know. Maybe Kenobi taught Ahsoka that trick. I don't know, but
we could say that.
yep, official canon determined by us that Kenobi taught Ahsoka how to make a noise in the distance using the Force. All right, so and so then it goes back to Leia and the third sister, and the third sister's trying to intimidate Leia again, needing information. Like, you have to give me information. Like, blah blah blah. And Leia's like, okay, but you gotta promise me you're not gonna hurt anyone. Like, I don't want anyone hurt. And the third sister gives like the worst. I don't know if this is bad acting or if it's just the third sister being a bad actor. I don't know. It's hard to tell sometimes. But like, it was just very cheesy. Like, you have my word. Like,
Yeah,
just
it's a
kind of
little bit of
a
both.
little something. But and then but Leia was great because she uses the third sister's words against her. Because earlier in the episode, she's like, "We're all on the same team," and Leia's like, "Well, I need to. I'll tell you where the path is, but I need to tell my father first." And the third sister's mad, like, "What?" And Leia's like,
Yeah.
we're all in the same team, right? All on the same side, right?" And then she's just, "You got me," and like mad, which was just, it was funny that she like tried to manipulate the third
She tried to.
sister
Yeah, it was pretty smooth and really well done.
because she was
I like
like
that.
teary eyed and crying. And so then
Mm-hmm.
when she pulls this on the third sister and she says to take her away, she's like, "Now you'll get some real tears," implying that she knew that Leia was faking crying. Because so
Mm-hmm.
she caught on to that, which, dang, that little girl can fake cry. Like, I don't know how to fake cry on command like that, but I think that's the sign. Okay, I don't know if the actress was actually having producing real tears of her own, but I think the sign of a great actor actress is when they can
Cry on
cry,
demand.
like Will Smith
Yeah.
and in Fresh Prince of Bel Air when he those crying scenes. That's like the best acting ever in the history of acting. Those crying scenes. So if
Say
you
what you
can,
want about Will Smith. He might slap people for no reason, but he's still pretty good at
yeah, he's a
acting.
good actor. Let's see. So she is then brought to a torture chamber, which I did not expect. Like, I feel like you could torture a kid a lot less intensely than those torture chambers that we see all the time in Star Wars.
She tried.
She
She tried
tried,
to.
but at least they didn't have a a child size torture chamber, like, because like, we see like child size like handcuffs in Star Wars, and they sent, good thing they didn't have like a little mini torture bed chair thing, but
Yellowstone in the chat. Why didn't the stormtroopers even think? Wait, why are we torturing a 10-year-old?
I don't know. I think it's just they just do. They're just following orders.
If
Like,
they don't, they'll get killed.
if they don't, they'll get killed. And so the Empire leads by with fear, and people are just scared of doing something wrong, just a little thing. And so,
Matt in the chat said, "My wife cries all the time on command to mess with me." That sucks.
what?
It's cool,
Sorry
but
to hear
also
that, Matt.
depressing and scary. I would.
You just gotta do the whole the boy who cries wolf thing, like every single time. Like,
Yeah, after a while, it's
pretty soon you're
you're
not
not
gonna
gonna
believe
believe
that at
her.
all, and then something bad's gonna be happening, and you're not gonna believe. So, sorry to hear about that, Matt. um. So let's see. So she brought us to a torture chamber, gets locked up, and so while this is happening, uh, Layla is letting Kenobi into some secured positions. I forget what she referred to it as, but like because she was looking at the map schematics of the building, like, what are they hiding down there?
Hmm.
And then so somewhere down there is probably where Leia is, I'm assuming, and but also there's these other facilities, and so she lets them into this restricted area, and this is where we see something very interesting. We just find all of
Are
these
2
bodies of Jedi in like this. I don't know what it is like. I'm assuming it's like kind of like amber, like a mosquito, like an ancient bug, and like frozen in amber. Like they're kind of just in amber, like in these, or maybe it's just like a liquid.
or it's like when people like keep body parts in jars and stuff.
Right. Because these ones seem like they're more like fixed, like they're like frozen in something.
Yeah.
Um, and so
Yeah.
the
It's
only
interesting why they
Jedi,
would do that.
the only Jedi that we recognize is the first one that Kenobi actually looks at, and that is Terra Sanube, which we
Mhm.
see in the Clone Wars. And the primary story that we see him with is when Ahsoka loses her lightsaber and it got stolen, and it's him teaching her to be patient and him getting them trying to find her lightsaber. So he's this old guy. He's like 200 some years old, over 200 years old. And so my guess is that all of these individuals are Jedi that specifically Inquisitors were able to
Yeah.
find and kill. So
Yeah,
these,
Matt in the chat said, "Are those people that Vader killed?" No, I think these are people that the Inquisitors found and
yeah,
killed, and they were higher up, and they're really like they either fought them really well or something. They're like
well, there was a kid though.
trophies.
I think it was just a
Oh,
trophy room. I don't know if so. Like,
yeah, the kid thing was a little
because
depressing.
like it's weird because all these people, or not all of them, but most of them seems like to be in like a position, like an action position. Like,
Hmm.
so it's
Like they
like,
almost got frozen.
yeah, like they almost got frozen in where they
It
were
would have been cool
captured.
if they would have been in there, but they're all been in carbonite.
Right, that would have been cool.
But then we probably wouldn't be able to see them as
Then
well.
then Obi-Wan it's like wakes them all up and they're all blind.
Run.
They're all blind, can't see, so they're all like
Help me,
Kanan.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
They're like
We
Kanan,
can't
just doing
see.
everything blind.
Oh,
Um,
that'd been sick.
but so I think it's more of a trophy room for the
Yeah.
Inquisitors.
At first, I'm like, is this like cloning stuff? Is this like a palp situation kind of thing? But I don't think so.
So, but like, so when we
Or
first
maybe.
see the hallway, because we see it at the opposite from the perspective of the opposite end as Kenobi, he's all the way at the very end,
Hmm.
and so we see two. So like the person on the right, myself included, like, and a lot of people initially thought it was Plo Koon,
Yeah, that's
uh,
what I thought it was too for a
but
second.
when you actually pause it and zoom in, it's it's not. Like he has these weird like horns coming off the side of their head.
That's
So
good.
it's
I
it's
thought we were
not.
gonna see Plo Koon in there.
But the guy opposite of him on the left looks like a black Jedi. I thought that looked like Bell from um, the High Republic books. I know it's not.
Oh dang!
It
I didn't even think about
looks
that.
like him, but it's not him. But um, but then we see a variety of other Jedi. I think we see like 3 or 4 other ones, and they're all just in different attires. And there's like one guy that looks like, I don't know, like Winston Churchill with dreads. Like I don't know, like so like some people are thinking like this is like what they were wearing when they were in hiding. So they're just kind of take that culture's attire. Because there's like 2 guys and then there's like the zoom up on one girl,
Hmm.
and the one girl looked familiar, like
Yeah, I was
not
confused
necessarily from
from
like
Star Wars, but
from
like
Star
in
Wars, but like the
general.
actress or whoever they used for that. Like I don't know, like they probably didn't use some famous actress to just be a frozen person. They just probably took a random person, but I don't know because like you see this main level, and then like above them, there's even more
Yeah, it's
levels.
like double leveled.
So there's
Yeah,
probably
that
hundreds of
at
Jedi down
first
here.
Jedi does look like Plo Koon though for like a second, but I think his horns are a little too long.
Yeah. So, but I'm so sad about Master Tanube. Like he is a cool guy, old guy, but
Yeah. But even the one on the left too, the with dreads, kinda almost like they could say that was what's his name from the last episode.
Cullen Voss.
Yeah,
Yeah. Some
I
people are
was
saying just because of the hair, but it doesn't look like him at all because he has like the yellow lines on his
yeah,
face.
I was just like when I first saw him, like, oh, we're gonna see Clunwyn down here, like that would have been super sad. But then, if we would have, he would have like Kenobi would have stopped in front
Stopped
of
and
it,
like
like
said something, but I don't know. I think this is a super cool part of the episode. I just want to see these people. Like, I don't know, but
no, I think it's cool, and it yeah, I don't think we technically know any of them. If anything, it's like besides the first one that he paused at for a long time.
right, because there was 10,000 Jedi at the time of Order 66. So
Yeah.
like we see, what 7 or 8 of them killed in Order 66. So like there's definitely all kinds of people Jedi that got killed eventually. I was hoping that we were gonna see like Luminara because we know her body
Mm-hmm.
is used in Rebels. Like I'm still hoping she's still alive because I like Luminara even though she's kind of like the most heartless, but I liked her. It'd be cool to see
Yeah.
her alive and still used to like lure Jedi, but who knows? Anyway, moving forward. So as he discovers this tomb, he Leia is being about to be tortured, and she's screaming out for help, and he is able to hear and sense her cries,
Mm-hmm.
and he comes to Layla and says, "I need a distraction like right away." And so, um, when the third sister is about to push the button to torture, another officer comes in and says, "I was told this cannot wait." Like, oh crap, what happened? And so she stops, just doesn't torture Leia. And then so the third sister leaves to go to the conference room, and Layla is in there. I was like, oh dang, like why is she in here? And she tries to give a false lead that
Mm-hmm.
she's been working undercover, trying to find the paths and learning more about them. And the third sister doesn't. At first, she doesn't buy it, and then Leia's like, "But I've been undercover." She's like, "Why don't you just admit that you're a spy?" She's like, "Yeah, I am a spy. I'm a spy for the Empire in undercover." And
Mm-hmm.
it almost looked like the third sister almost was convinced, but then ended up not believing her. But she says that the path runs to Florum, and do you recognize Florum, Drew? That's
Mm.
that's where Hondo and his goons
Oh
were based
yeah.
in. So I don't know. I know they're not going to go to Florum now because it was a fake lead, but Kenobi and Hondo were BFFs.
Dude, that would have been cool if we saw Hondo
He's
live
like
action.
that. There's profit to be made here by like rescuing Jedi. Like I don't know. It would have been cool.
That would have been sick.
But I don't know. Florum's just another deserty
Scum.
planet. So um
Another
so
wannabe Tatooine.
yeah. So while this was happening, they're having this conversation. Uh, Kenobi shuts the lights off in the chamber, the torture chamber, and then there's 2 troopers in there. And in the dark, he turns his lightsaber on, kills one, turns it off,
Dude, yeah, and the lighting was so good.
yeah, and then kills the other one. So it's like, why didn't he just like go up behind them and like turn it on and stab him once and then turn it off? Like, I don't understand
It's
why.
not as
Maybe
cool.
he's just trying to practice,
Yeah.
get back in the
Keep
swing of
getting warmed
things.
up.
Back in the
Oh,
swing of
there it is.
things. Brr, brr, brr. But
You know what will help you get to the swing of things in life?
what's that, Drew?
Our sponsor of today's episode,
And who would that be?
Wesley Andrews Coffee and Tea.
Oh, really? I actually have a button here that will play an ad for how you can get 15% off your first purchase. So
We'll push that button
let's take a
before the
listen.
third sister pushes hers.
Oh,
Hey everyone, Andrew here. I'm pleased to tell you that the sponsor of today's episode is Wesley Andrews Coffee and Tea. If you don't know anything about Wesley Andrews, you definitely should. They're an award-winning coffee roaster and shop in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and they make fantastic coffee. The awesome thing is that whether you live in the Twin Cities or not, you can get their coffee beans delivered straight to your door by ordering them online. They even have a subscription service that ensures you never run out of amazing coffee. If you've been looking for some new coffee to try or a way to elevate your normal coffee routine, now's your chance. Head over to wesleyandrews.cc, use the code Empire Radio, that's with a capital E and a capital R with no space at checkout, to get 15% off your first purchase of any bags of coffee or a coffee subscription. I can't think of a better deal. Get 15% off some great coffee, support a small business, and support your favorite Star Wars podcast. In the words of Emperor Palpatine, do it.
Do it.
Do it. Gosh.
Do it.
Yes. So when you're trying to get back into swing of things, drink some Wesley Andrews coffee and tea. But unfortunately, Obi-Wan did not take a sip of coffee before he did this that we know of.
No, that's not we know of.
But he was still able to get it done. He was able
Maybe
to save
that's what
Leia.
the Bangta tank is, just a giant vat of coffee.
Possibly. So maybe is that the reason why Vader is still all scarred up, because he's like using like Folgers and that's not working too well.
He's using the cheap stuff. The Empire
like,
is stingy on there.
Like Palpatine doesn't want him to get fully healthy, so he buys the cheap coffee and puts it in the back of the tank.
It would be hard to control him if he was fully healthy.
That's funny. Let's see. And so Kenobi takes Leia and they leave. And so why does the alarm goes off because Kenobi escaped with Leia, right? I'm assuming that's what it was.
Yeah, the alarm went off because that bot saw them.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Sorry. I was like, something's missing in my notes. So yes. So the third sister is about to have Layla she is taken away. Like, so she's disarmed. And then the third sister leaves. And then as, this is happening, Kenobi gets caught with a secret droid. And then she still has her comm with, like, the troopers have the comm or whatever. And Kenobi's like, we've been caught, like, da da da. And so then Layla is able to, like, take on those two troopers by herself.
Yeah.
The first guy, she just kind of, like, smacked him on the face, and he's like, like, all disoriented. I'm like, calm down, dude. Like, but then she, like, jacks up the second guy while the other guy's.
Well, I mean, she's probably been trained.
Okay, if you have a helmet on and I smack you across the face, my hand's gonna hurt more than you. You're not gonna be like,
True,
like,
but maybe he gets a little rattled. I
don't know. Maybe she's force sensitive and it was a force slap or something. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if she was a Jedi this whole time. I don't know.
That'd be
cool. She's probably not. I think it would be cool if this whole time, like, she's keeping that a secret too, that she's actually a Jedi. But that's probably not going to happen. But she kills those two troopers and she escapes. And then this is where we see Kenobi using his saber for the first time, like, to deflect blaster shots, which was sloppy, but you could tell that he was getting better as it was going on, remembering how to do it. It was flowing
warming
better.
Up a little bit.
Yep. And so I really liked how at one moment, where, like, when he stopped a group, Obi-Wan did his classic, he spins the saber around in a circle. Like, I don't know, that's just one of his classic things, is this him spinning it and getting into a pose.
It's because it's a good trick, man.
Yeah. Spinning is a good trick. So I really like that. And so then the third sister is approaching she's leading a group of troopers that has a purge trooper in it, which is cool. Because purge troopers are trained to deal with Jedi, which is interesting.
Purge the Jedi.
Yes. And so it's like, I don't know. I was hoping that we were going to see some purge trooper action where because a lot of them have like the staff, like the little electro staff thing.
Yeah.
Like, so I thought it'd been cool if Kenobi could have had some, dueling practice against a
Oh, that
purge
would have been
trooper.
cool.
I thought that was a missed opportunity where he could have, got some swings in that were,
Mhm. When he deflected that bullet backwards and hit the guy, it was so dope.
yeah. But so while this is happening, he's able to shut, classic. You hit the control panel on a door, it locks it. So he locks it, but then at this whole time, blaster shot hit the glass underwater.
Yeah, I don't think they're supposed to be shooting lasers under there.
Come on, why? You'd think that they would reinforce it where it could take more than a shot, like a single shot.
It's the angle, man.
I don't know, dude. I was like, come on, for all the money the Empire has and it's an underwater facility, reinforce that glass a little bit more. Like, come on. But whatever. There's a hole in the glass. Leia points it out. And I noticed here that she called him Ben still. So I still don't think she knows this is Obi-Wan Kenobi. People think I'm wrong. I still think that she doesn't know that it's Obi-Wan Kenobi. But I'm just guessing. But so at this moment, Tala arrives and because he's holding back the window from shattering in. Yep. And he's like, take her away, like get her to safety. And then at this time, the troopers at the closed door trying to get through, and like one's like sticking their gun between the doors, like shooting them, like whatever. And so then they get through, and then he breaks the glass or allows the glass to break on multiple windows, and it falls on them, which I didn't really understand why he had to break those other ones. He could just let the one break, I thought. And it would have.
Yeah, I think it's because they were still too far away. So when he broke them all, like it was gonna soak them in quick.
Maybe, but I don't know. I thought it was kind of weird because he had to like turn, and like they could have shot him when he was turning, like to like break the glass. But it's whatever. So
it worked out.
Water comes in. And he runs. And I thought it was funny because Tyler's like, run! Okay, well, what is he going to do? Just stand there? Of course he knows to run. So he runs. And I kind of panicked a little bit when she started to close the door before he got there. Like, I know she's trying to like make it close. But I was like, what if she actually didn't like too early and then he got stuck?
He would have just breathed his thing. But yeah, then I don't know how they get out.
Right. He would just swim out the window
away. And go somewhere else.
But yeah, so they get to safety, and they grab a cloak for him to put on, which it was weird because I noticed throughout the episode, or not maybe throughout, but a couple of times throughout the episode, you see people wearing these cloaks. I was like, this is weird. I don't think I've ever seen these Imperial.
I never noticed it until.
Yeah, like if you watch it the second time you watch it, you'll see these officer type people with these cloaks on.
Oh, really?
So it's like they set it up so that it wasn't just a random cloak that they picked up and put on. Like
That's
it was consistent with what you've seen in the episode.
Yeah.
Which I thought was very smart to do.
Mm-hmm.
So it's super funny. Like Leia is just
how do you not get caught?
Because like they put her between Layla and Kenobi, so it's like they try to hide it a little bit, but it's I don't know.
Yeah.
There's the hustle and bustle. The whole facility's getting locked down. Everyone's.
I could see it. It's just like I don't know. It was funny.
I don't know. It was funny. I guess maybe it's just to have a comedic part in the episode.
Yeah, it was fine.
But
I didn't hate it. I just thought it was like.
Let me ask you this: Would you buy the Black series of this of him wearing a cloak with a bulge and you see like her
ball foot with like 2 feet coming out?
Yeah. Would you buy that Black series?
100%. That'd be dope.
Would you bring it to a con and have Vivian sign it?
Oh, that'd be dope.
Did it get her signature like at 10 years old? Well, she's probably like 11 now, but get one of her early signatures.
She just had a birthday like.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
A couple weeks ago.
That is true. I remember seeing that. So she's probably like 11, I'm assuming.
I think so.
But
I mean, yeah, why not?
She has kid handwriting, so it's like
So it's like a smiley face.
it's probably better than my kid handwriting. Like,
Yeah, for
you can
sure.
see
It's
it. I don't know if
definitely
you can
better.
see. I can't see really, but I have
Yeah,
really
it's
crappy.
definitely better than our handwriting for
My
sure.
handwriting is the same now as it was when I was in kindergarten. So
Good lord.
yeah, it's not that great, but it gets the job done. But
That's all that
yes.
matters.
So they get to the landing area, tarmac area,
Mm-hmm.
and they're just trying to get to Layla's ship. And by this time, the third sister gets up there with a bunch of troopers and yells out, "An old man and a little girl, you gave up everything for this," to condemn Layla. And Layla's like, "I've never been part of the Empire. Like, this is who I am. I've never been evil," whatever she said. And
Yeah.
so they get surrounded by troopers, and it's like, what are you gonna do? Like, even Kenobi in his prime wouldn't be able to take on all these troopers,
Yeah.
and so it's like, what's gonna happen? And out of nowhere, some T-47 land like airspeeder things.
Mm-hmm.
Your favorite from Hoth,
Snow speeders.
snow speeders. So they came in and they started attacking and shooting the facility or the landing pad, and that's where Kenobi and Layla are able to then use their blasters and get further away from the third sister. And so one of them like basically just like crash lands basically to get on there. So
Yeah, I'm
then,
like, dude, how did it not break its landing?
right. So they did crappy landing on purpose because that's all you could do in the moment. And they jump on and they fly away. And as they're flying away, the other one comes in and starts shooting at the third sister to stop her. And then as the first ship gets away, then that second one, pilot named Wade, is able to fly away. But then,
and this is when we see the scene of the trailer when she's like
right,
reflecting.
yeah. So I never would have thought that a airspeeder, snow speeder thing would be in that scene shooting her. So, yes, that is that scene from the trailer. So now I think that's everything in the
I think
trailers
so too.
now. So these last 2 episodes, we're probably going in blind. I might go back and look at those trailers to see if there's anything else, but I think that's it for that from the trailers. But the fifth brother gets out and tells her to destroy that ship or destroy them, which I thought it would have been better if he took that bomb and threw it himself. Like, I don't know. I thought it would have been better, like, because she screwed up in a sense, and so like he comes in and steps
it's
in.
more like he's like in charge. Like he shouldn't be the
Oh, I know, but he's like, it should have been a thing like, or he has to fix it, so he's gonna try and take out one ship. But Wade gets hit by the explosive, and that's in a sense like the first death in the rebellion. In a sense, even though they're not the rebellion, this is like, and I'm sure there's other like skirmishes all around the galaxy of fights and stuff, but like this is one of the first like acts against the Empire at a major facility that we know of that I can think of. And so that happens and they get away. And so when they get away, you see the third sister standing there on a tarmac, and then you hear the breathing. And then it cuts to Vader charging down a hallway, breathing.
Dopest thing ever.
And
bro.
he's so pissed, and he just grabs the third sister down, like it's in the conference room thing. Force chokes her and pushes her at the same time. And this was probably the Vader scene in Rogue One. Like, okay, this is the scariest we've ever seen Vader. This is intense. But like here, I don't know. This was just different.
This was
like,
pretty badass.
He doesn't kill anyone. We don't see his saber, but
it's so intimidating. Like
him charging it, like we've never heard that kind of angry voice from Vader before.
And I love the camera angles on Vader. They were always pointing up. to him.
Yeah,
Like
they're
he's
down looking
such
up to make him look bigger than he.
Yup.
You know, he's always big, but
I mean, he is big, but like you know what I mean.
he's like, was he supposed to be like 6'6" or something? Vader.
Yeah,
So
because they fixed his legs or whatever. But
yeah, so he's force choking the third sister, and she's able to squeak out, "I let them go." And I thought it was really cool because you see him like with his hand like sideways, like force choking, and then after she says that, he thinks for a second, and then he rotates his hand open. Like, I don't know, I thought that was really cool how he changed positions with his hands to change what he's doing to her. So I thought that was cool. And then she says, "I put a tracker on their ship."
Yep,
And we're like, that doesn't
doesn't make any
make
sense because
sense.
that ship just showed up for them. So I was
Right.
like, the whole time I thought she was bluffing just to like not die in this moment, and then she was
Right.
gonna be scrambling to get to them.
Yeah.
Like to find them, and maybe she was gonna go to that planet and stuff. So I was like, yeah,
Yeah. And so she has the line. So when you listen to it again, her line is, "Wherever he goes, it will follow," which it's Leia because Leia's going to have the droid. So Leia will follow Obi-Wan wherever he goes. So
yeah,
if you go back, it makes a lot more sense what she says. But in the moment, you're like, you don't know what to believe her with. But so anyway, the airspeeder is able to then, get to the primary ship, which we do see on Jabeam early in the episode, just sitting down landed. We see this same ship. And so it's able to land inside this larger ship. Roken goes to greet him like with a smile on his face. It kind of reminded me of Zeb in season 4 of, was it season 4? Yeah, season 4 of Rebels when Kanan dies and they come back and he's like, "Oh, cool, they're
yeah.
back," and he's like smiling, waving, and they all come off all pissed, and then he realizes what happened. This happened. It was kind of reminded me of that, where he's happy to see them, and he's like, "Where's Wade?" And they say nothing, and then that's when Tala says, "Looks like you're soldiers now."
Yeah.
And so,
Which was a really sad but really impactful and a really good moment, I think.
yeah, and then after this is the most emotional part of the episode when Kenobi and Leia are sitting next to each other. Or is it? I've been calling her Layla this whole time. It's Tala. Gosh dang it! Right, it's Tala, right?
Yeah, Tala.
Dang it! Sorry, guys.
I should have caught that.
I was
like, why are their names so similar?
I was like, sorry to our fans out there listening.
Because Layla was what Leia was her nickname.
I was combining Layla, Lola, and Leia all together and making up with Layla. Oh gosh, dang it!
No, Layla was Leia's name in the last episode when they're hiding.
No, that was Luma.
Oh gosh, all these L's. Good lord.
Oh gosh.
Luma's a cool name though.
Luma?
Yeah, like kind of reminds me of like space. I don't know.
Well, it is Star Wars, so. Sure. But anyway,
Leia
puts her hand on Kenobi's hand, and then he rotates his hand and grabs her hand. And then Leia pulls her hand closer to him, and then they just kind of look at each other. And I was like, "Dang!" I was a little teary-eyed, like misty-eyed.
It got you?
It got me, dude. Like, every episode's getting me.
Dude,
and
this show's so good.
It's just like I still have the theory that in A New Hope, Leia does not know that Ben Kenobi and Obi-Wan Kenobi are the same person. I'm still convinced of that. I'm still thinking that, but like it just adds to the story from Kenobi's perspective when he hears that message, because he has all this history and he's so attached to her, and like this is where so he's more willing to help her because they have this attachment to each other. And so it got me. And then
I mean, it makes sense because that's when that because it was from her, that's when he decided to take Luke and like actually start doing something
Right.
for once.
Right. So I don't know. I really love this relationship. I really love Leia in the series. So like this is like super emotional.
And for me, it doesn't. I don't view it as like Leia is like seeing Obi as like her dad figure. It's more like a grandpa feel, like for me for some reason,
Why can't I think more of as an uncle?
or an uncle. But uncles are sometimes creepy for people.
You're an uncle. I'm an uncle. What are you talking?
I'm a lot of uncle, but still, I don't
How
know.
many nieces and nephews do you have? Like 15?
Nieces? No. Whoa. I'm trying to count. Nieces, I have
Because I have all together nieces and nephews. I have
8 nieces.
I have 7 altogether.
I have 8
4
nieces
no, 8.
and
4 plus 2 plus 2. I have 8 nephews
that's 8.
and 1 niece.
Wait, who has the niece?
Jonah.
Oh, I didn't know he had a daughter.
Yeah, he has a boy and a girl.
Lucky.
And they're like, I don't know, like what, 11 and 9?
Dang,
or
they're
something?
old.
Yeah, dude.
No, I have, what is it? 4 and 4, so 8 nieces and 3. 3. So,
So 11.
yeah.
All right. So you know what it's like to be an uncle. But
Yes.
anyway, they're holding hands and they're just resting. And the camera pans down to Lola, the droid, and it turns on and a red light's
2 red lights.
blinking. And so that's when we realize that the tracker is in Lola. And so the Empire is going to be arriving on Jabeam next episode, fairly confident. And it's like, when is Qui-Gon Jinn gonna show up with his voice? Like, because this is the first episode he
didn't call for him.
He didn't, call out to Qui-Gon. So that's interesting that he didn't. And it wasn't maybe in the flashes at all the beginning. Maybe I don't know. I have to go back. Maybe he kind of like.
I'm trying to think. Maybe it was like in that bank to tank. You could hear him. Maybe,
or maybe just before he gets in like those flashes that he was having. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll have to go back, but yeah, that's the end of the episode. So I think it's pretty close to at least my second favorite episode. Maybe my first. Last episode was still really good, but
Yeah, I like the last episode. I love the Vader in this episode too, though. I don't know. They're both really good. They're both in my top. Definitely not deserving the hate that people are giving
Right.
it for sure. I don't know what's wrong with people.
Yeah.
Should go watch my friends breakdown and see.
Oh, cool. Well,
I'm talking about my friend breakdown.
The other guy that thinks Wrecker is
inside of
Ned
a droid.
B. Oh gosh. Well, the funny thing is, people from the original trailer thought it was Rex.
Rex because of his armor.
Whatever.
I mean, people think what they want to think, but yeah. Overall, I really enjoyed this episode too.
Yeah.
You ready?
How many secret droids
Lolas?
out of 10? Secret droids out of 10 would you say this episode is?
I would give it a solid 9.2.
A 9.2? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I know episodes 1 and 3 were 10s.
Yeah.
And I think this one's at least second or the best. So I give it a 10 also. So like
so far this show is blowing
37 out of 40 for me right now.
And
37, 38 out of 40.
Blowing amazingly blowing up Boba Fett's show.
Yeah.
At least until episode 5.
Some people were hoping that when he was in the back to tank, he was going to have the flashbacks. Like,
I was too, but then I was like, I don't want it to be so redundant. I'm still hoping that we'll get Black Chrysanthemum at some point,
I
but
don't know.
I don't think so at this point.
I still think we could get Quinlan Voss. I wouldn't be surprised if he shows up next episode,
That'd be
since
cool.
he uses the path on a regular basis. But other than that, I don't feel like we're gonna get any more cameos or anything. Well, other than Qui-Gon Jinn, we're assuming he's gonna show up through the voice. But like, I don't.
Bro, I don't know, dude.
And we still gotta see Anakin, like with his
Yeah,
helmet off. Like we gotta see Hayden
as
act.
Hayden.
Like we gotta hear his voice. Like that's like we haven't heard, other than at the end of Return of the Jedi, we haven't heard Vader without his helmet off talk. So like,
You think we'll get Maul?
Oh gosh, stop. But it'd be cool to see, like, what I know. Okay, we have to get Hayden Christensen's voice acting. Like, it just has to happen. So I wonder, like, what direction he's gonna take. Is he gonna try and sound like prequel Anakin, or is he gonna make it more raspy? Because like, his voice now, his normal voice now, is way different than it was in the prequels. He's like, can't even recognize his voice. So like, he could just use his normal voice and it'd be like, sound like something different. So, but only 2 more episodes, unless Kenobi or Ewan McGregor's tease of episode 7, 8, 9 is more, but who knows?
Yeah.
So any other thoughts before we transition over to voicemails, Drew?
Nope. I'm just excited for next week. We weren't left in. I guess we kind of were still left in a little cliffhanger moment.
A show like this, every episode has a cliffhanger on it. True. So, but yeah.
I liked it. It wasn't a waste of time.
All right. So let's transition over to voicemail time.
It's voicemail time. Ooh.
All right. So we have 5 voicemails tonight. So let's continue on with Jedi Master's dad jokes. So let's listen to this one.
Hey, Empire Radio, Jedi Master here again with another dad joke. I know you liked the one last week, so here it is. Here's another one. I've just written a book about falling down a staircase. It's a step-by-step guide.
Nice.
The best. May the Force be.
That was amazing.
All right. So, yep. Definitely a stair joke. Step by step. Ha ha ha.
Step by step.
You remember that show, Step by Step?
A little bit, yeah.
Back in the 90s. That was a throwback. So now we have 2 voicemails from Lucy, and both of these are bangers. So,
all right.
So let's listen to this first one from Lucy.
Hi everyone, Lucy here, and to be straight to the point, I might have met Deview Twist at Star Wars Celebration. I didn't get a name, but I spoke briefly with another Empire Radio fan in the standby line for the making of the audiobook panel. It might have been a different person, but if that was him, this is VCU level crazy. Deview Twist, if you remember a girl saying something about Empire Radio in front of you in that standby line, and you responding that it's a good podcast, that was me. Unfortunately, I missed a major opportunity at Celebration. I saw someone cosplaying as Thrawn, and it was only after we left that I realized I should have asked to take a photo with him and organize a scene from one of my voicemails. I could have sent that in as a VCU art submission. One of my favorite panels I went to was that making of the audiobook one, because I am obsessed with the audiobooks and audio dramas, as you could probably tell from my VCU voicemails, and I got to see Mark Thompson, the incredible narrator of a lot of the books. Let me know what Deview Twist says, and may the Force be with you.
All right. So I reached out to Deview Twist on Discord and asked him, and it was not Deview Twist that you met, Lucy. Sorry. So we now know that a third Empire Radio fan,
at least,
was at Star Wars Celebration. So whoever you are, if you're listening and you met Lucy in that standby line for the audiobook panel.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you? Send in your own voicemail. Say, hey, it was me. We want to hear from you, mystery person.
Mystery.
Because that's cool that two random fans met each other at Star Wars Celebration. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I love to hear that. That's awesome. That's dope.
So, all right. Now, this next one from Lucy, I'm excited for this one. So, let's take a listen.
Hi again, Lucy here, and there's been a development recently. I started my own podcast a few weeks ago called For Light and Life, and I'm not saying this because I want to steal your fans or be rival podcasts. Far from it. I wanted to thank you for being so inspiring and helping me share my voice. And I can't believe how far I've come from my first voicemail 16 months ago. My voice was super young sounding. I was so self-conscious, and I just really wanted these super cool podcasters to hear me and know that I existed. And that was such a big deal for me, and I say with full confidence that I would not be where I am today without you guys. And if I could build a community with my podcast that is a fraction of what you've got now, that is all I need. You have always been and will continue to be my podcasting role model. Thank you so, so much. May the force be with you.
All right.
That's pretty cool. Go check
so
that
her,
out, guys.
Her podcast is For Life and Light, which is the saying from the High Republic books.
Mm-hmm.
And so I actually looked up her podcast. She has like a little intro one and then 2 actual episodes. And I listened to both.
Wow.
I listened to both of them because
Wow.
they're short. They're like, one's like 11 minutes and the other one's like 15 minutes or something like that.
Oh, okay.
So one, we get a deeper dive into her Star Wars story, because we got a little bit of that in some voicemails that we've had from her,
Mhm.
but she kind of gives a full breakdown of that, where she gives plenty of shout outs to us. But then her second episode is a fan fiction that she wrote. It was like a scene that took place like right after Ahsoka left the Jedi Order, like right after season 5 of Clone Wars, of of Anakin telling Padme that she left, and it's really good.
Oh,
so
wow, that's cool.
It's amazing. So
Yeah,
Lucy, you
you
did a
guys
great job.
go check out For Light and Life, on Spotify.
Spotify, that's where I listen to it, and then I think it's also on iTunes. She uses Anchor as well.
There you go.
And guess what?
Hmm.
I was the first person. I sent in a voicemail to her.
Oh, nice. There you go.
Because she asked in her podcast to send in voicemails too. So I sent in, assumingly, her first voicemail. And so, Lucy, you have our full.
Lucy, I'm following it right now. There you go. You have evidence.
Yep. So you have our full support over here at Empire Radio. You're going to be like our little sister podcast in a sense.
True.
And so, if you ever need any help with that or any ideas, don't be afraid to reach out.
If you need any help on how to get off the ground or any tips, let us know.
Yeah, if you
maybe
collab.
you should like true that. Ooh, for sure.
Lucy, you want collab? But yes, so we're very happy for you.
Yeah,
Lucy. We know you're gonna bring your own special twist to fun Star Wars stuff.
Well, Lucy's gonna hear this, but we should maybe reach out to Andrew. Maybe he can do like a cool intro for her.
Funny thing is, she wrote her own music.
Oh well, never mind then. Go ahead.
Lucy, I think she did because it's like
never mind.
Because she said in her like Star Wars story thing, she kind of gave a description of herself, and she says that she plays piano, and the intro music is like a piano thing with like it's like an Ahsoka variation of hers.
Never
so
mind.
I'm pretty sure, I don't know for sure, but I think Lucy wrote her own intro music for her podcast. So like her podcast is already like better than us almost. Like she's already
and Lucy, just so you know, everyone in the current chat is already spamming that they're already going to follow you, and we're already boosting your followership, so
yep.
Don't worry.
And if she overcomes us, like more listens than us, like I guess
we'll have to send her voicemails so we get them back. Every week we'll just send her voicemails. Like, hey, don't forget about us little guys over here.
Yeah. So congratulations, Lucy. You're gonna do a great job with
For
that.
sure.
But we might as
You
well
know what,
just
Jeremiah? You should maybe just post that too in the Discord so that
yeah. I
people
was
know.
gonna wait till after
Yeah, for sure.
tonight's episode to tell people, but yeah. All right. So next up, a voicemail from Retta from the Discord.
Hey, Empire Radio. This is Retta from the Discord. Just calling in. And hopefully, this is not too late to be included on the episode for June 8th. I really loved this episode of Obi-Wan. I know there are some people in the Discord who weren't a huge fan of it, which is totally allowed, but personally, I really loved it. I really loved Leia's character development, how strong of a character she is, even at age 10, and just how well it flows into her character in the original trilogy. Since Will had a passive-aggressive comment last week about nobody else leaving random questions, I figured I would call in with a random question. Outside of the Star Wars universe, do you have a favorite Disney character? So just any Disney character that's your favorite that's not in the Star Wars universe. Mine is Elsa from Frozen, and I have my own reasons for that. So thanks for all you guys do.
Let
Have a
it
great rest of
go.
your day. May the Force be with you.
And you.
All right.
Ooh.
Well, that's a hard question because there's
That's so
Disney.
hard. 'Cause doesn't
Disney
Marvel
owns
count?
like everything.
Yeah,
so it's
doesn't
like I don't even
Marvel
know.
count? Can we just say Spider-Man and just be done
So
with
yeah.
it?
So Marvel, Pixar, all the other normal
Okay, let's say not Marvel, but like
cartoon stuff.
cartoon stuff that we used to watch as kids. What's your favorite Disney character outside of Marvel?
That's hard because like
so hard, bro.
and it's like I
Okay,
don't even know.
fine. Let's narrow it down even smarter. What's your favorite Disney princess?
I don't even know. I never watched any of those.
How dare you?
I
don't
watched
know?
like the only one I can. So like I've seen like Beauty and the Beast. That's like the only. I've never seen Cinderella. I've never.
Belle. You've never seen Cinderella. What is wrong with you? I mean, it's
Um,
kind of weird now to go back and watch
like
Cinderella.
is Mulan considered a Disney princess?
Yes.
So like, I've seen Mulan. What other Disney princesses are there?
Did you see Frozen?
Yeah,
Those are both princesses.
that's okay. But like, what about like other cartoon ones, like the
That's
2D
cartoon.
ones from the 90s?
Oh
yeah, and you got
White,
Snow White. I
Sleeping
guess not from the 90s,
Beauty.
older than that. But Sleeping Beauty. Did you know for like a really long time, I thought Snow White and Sleeping Beauty were the same person?
I thought you were gonna say, did you know for a very long time you had a crush on Sleeping Beauty? Because
No,
your boy did. But
really.
yeah, that was like the first VHS movie I remember that I begged to get, and I got it.
What?
Yeah, I don't know.
So I guess the one I'm most familiar with is Belle from Beauty and the Beast. So I'll go with her.
Okay, mine would be Mulan. Not the live action, obviously, but yeah.
You already know how I feel about.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to get into it, but
Hot take, everyone! If you haven't heard,
hot
live
take.
action Mulan is better than the animated Mulan.
The worst take of all time, but anyway.
Because in the live action Mulan, she actually defeats the bad guy on her own, where in the old original one, she needs help from a male dragon to kill the bad guy. So
really
strong, independent woman
Okay.
in live action, but not so much in the original. But that's a whole, and there's other reasons. But anyway, so I'll go with Belle, but I don't know, like, I don't know, maybe like a Toy Story character too.
Yeah, like Woody or Buzz
Woody or Buzz.
or Hank.
I don't know.
Okay, so what is the? There's definitely like a Disney movie that I gravitate towards a lot. But right now, honestly, all I can think about is Toy Story because my son literally loves that so much. It's the only thing that can keep him to stop running around the house. Or crawling around the house, I should say. But I don't know. I've seen Toy Story 1, 2, like literally on repeat for the last 3 weeks. I'm kind of over it. But
why don't you put the third one in?
Because the third one's depressing, bro.
Oh, gosh.
The third one is sad. And Stephanie, okay, we watched it the other day, right? and Stephanie started crying at the end of that one, and she's like, "We cannot let Miles watch it now until he is old enough to understand why that one is sad." So she wants to wait. So she wants him to watch the first two ones to the point where he like knows about it, and then watch it. And then we watched the fourth one. The fourth one's so bad, bro. It's so
Really? You didn't like the fourth one?
I didn't like the fact that Woody loses his voice box. It bothers me.
Nah.
It
But
bothers me.
have you seen the edit of the third movie where a guy takes the movie and you know when they're
Mhm.
going into like the flame thing,
And
he cuts it there and puts it right to the credits, and then shows his mom the movie for the first time.
Oh heck no!
So she watches it and
She
thinks
thinks
that
they
they
all-
go into the fire and it's over.
That's amazing.
So you can see that on YouTube, like he just filmed his mom's reaction
Oh
at the
wow,
end.
that's amazing.
But yeah, it's super funny.
Toy Story, Ratatouille is really fun. I like that movie. It's kind of gross too. It like grosses my wife out, so I like to watch it in front of her sometimes. Just when all the mice like spread out like crazy, she
I've
gets
only
like,
seen that movie once. Like a lot of these movies, I've only seen.
dude, they're like, they're all on you like on
I
Disney
know, but
Plus, bro.
it's just boring watching movies by myself.
Oh, that's fair.
It's kind of boring. I don't know.
You need a dog to watch them with.
And so Cody, who sometimes sends in voicemails, he's in the Discord, and
He's gonna mail you a dog.
he has a Great Dane puppy, like the Merle color, which is the gray with the dark gray spots. And he said that in a couple of years they might breed. And I was like, I got dibs on a male Merle.
Dude, that's amazing.
So maybe in a couple of years, Cody will sell me a
Dude,
Great
I
Dane.
might have to. Maybe we can both have brothers. That'd be cool. Because I always want a Great Dane too. That's like my number one dog that I want.
Dang,
but
that'd be
house
cool.
is
Cody,
kinda
we need two
I need
two brothers.
Empire Radio.
Yep. So he says his dog, his Great Dane female puppy is Empire Radio's mascot. So
okay.
sounds like a deal.
I'm
We
down.
gotta get a bandana with like the logo on it that he can
Dude,
like tie
heck
around
yeah.
the neck.
We had them.
The bandana, dog bandana.
Yes, we did.
They were there. Oh, I didn't even remember.
Yes.
It was up for like 2 days, and then
Yeah.
anyway, let's
One
listen to
weekend.
this last
Yeah,
voicemail.
jeez.
Voicemail from Will.
Oh, Will. Will's like in the chat patiently waiting to hear his voice.
Yep. All right, let's take a listen.
Hey, Empire Radio. Will here. I just got back home from picking up a good old prescription. It took like about an hour. Not really sure why. But this prompted me for my question today. What was the longest you have waited or cared to wait for something? Like, I don't know. You know what? I can't think of any examples right now. But yeah.
All right. So
That's
Drew.
a hard question.
So like waiting in line, like waiting for something like in person.
Yeah, waiting in queue.
So like there's stuff I get like an amusement park, like
Yeah, like
for like a roller coaster.
Freaking what's that?
What?
The Excalibur at whatever it's called. It always takes so long.
You mean the Wild Thing?
No, Excalibur, I think.
The crappy.
You don't like that?
one?
I love that ride, bro.
Dude, that's like some janky like wood roller coaster.
It's
That's
so
like
fun.
50-foot drop, and
It's
like
so dope.
there's a spot there that if you have your hands up, you're gonna lose your hands. You know that bar that goes by?
Yeah,
I'm
amazing,
surprised.
bro.
I'm surprised no one has lost both their arms on that coaster. But I don't know. I haven't been to any like real amusement parks. Valley Fair is just lame. Like
I think it's because we've been there too much. When's
no,
the last
because
time you've
the
been to Valley
rides.
Fair?
It's been like over 10 years, but like
Oh God.
But like the rides are not like these giant rides that you have like at Six Flags and Busch Gardens and Universal Studios. Like it's just you have the Wild Thing, which is like what, a 200-foot drop, That's it.
The waffle thing's fun.
Then you have Steel Venom. Is that what it's called?
Mhm.
Like that one's fun. That's like the best one, but it's super short.
It's not
like
that
and basic.
big.
And I don't know.
I don't know why, but I would always like, for some reason in my mind, I thought you would be one of those people that like are afraid of rides and like would not go.
No, if I could, I'd go to like Six Flags and all those places. And
I didn't know that. That's cool. We should do that one day.
I'd pay for the fast pass to get to the front of the line.
Damn. So you should definitely go to Universal then, bro.
But that's like,
dude, the rides at Universal are amazing.
I know they are. I see stuff. I used to like watch like.
Wow,
I don't
this
know,
is
like
a side
stuff.
of Jeremiah I've never knew.
Well, how would you know when we don't have any good rides in Minnesota? Like,
well, I know, but we could make a trip to Disney and do this.
I think the last time I went to Valley Fair was probably between my freshman and sophomore year of college. So that would have been like summer 2009. I think that was the last time I went.
I think the last time I went was like a few years ago, like 4 or 5 years ago. I remember. Okay, I have a fun Valley Fair story actually. So, no one knows this. I think you know this, but I have a fake tooth.
Yeah,
and
you too.
And Jeremiah does too, but mine comes out if I wanted to. But I'm not gonna show you guys, so don't ask in the comments or anything. But at Valley Fair, I was on the wild thing, and I put my hands up and I yelled super loud, and it got loose, and it came out, and I tried to catch it, and I did catch it. So for like 3 weeks, I had no fake tooth because it fell out on the roller coaster. So ever since then, anytime I ride roller coasters or rides, I always keep my mouth shut.
No,
But then I put my arms up because I'm not gonna lose my tooth again.
That's funny.
Have you ever been to the SpongeBob ride in Des Moines?
No.
That ride's fun.
The last time I went to, I guess, what is it called now? Nickelodeon
Universe.
Verse. That would have been like my freshman year of college. Like,
but when's the last time you've been in the mall?
In the mall?
Yeah.
Maybe a year or two after that. Maybe just once. I haven't been there in over 10 years.
Dude, I went there like 2 days ago.
You go there all the time.
Like, I go there like once a week at least. At least. I think Steph's been there like 2 times this week. Jeremiah, anyway, we should go one day and vlog and just go on the roller coaster. That'd be fun. Because that one, it does a full upside down loop and you like almost touch the ceiling. Like, it's so dope. It's super short. Like, it's 30-second ride, but it's super dope. But anyways, back to Will's question.
So
these voicemails are
waiting in line for rides. That can be like half hour, 45 minutes.
Dude,
maybe
sometimes
an hour,
like 2 hours, bro.
So there's that.
Okay, I know the longest time that I can recently remember. So when I went to Universal, like 2 years ago now, something like that, we were in line for Hagrid's ride, which is super dope, Jeremiah. You would love it now that I know you like rides, because it's like it's Hagrid's motorcycle.
Yeah.
So you're like on the motorcycle, and then like you can ride with someone, and they're
is that like the VR one kind of?
No, it's not. It's like it's a legit wood roller coaster, but you're like on a motorcycle. It's super cool. And then it goes in, like there's one part where you drop, like you literally just drop your motorcycle, just falls into the ground, and then you go back. It's like the coolest ride I've ever been on for a roller coaster. But anyways, we were in line for it for 4 hours.
What?
And then we got up to the end of it, and then it was shut down. So it was super annoying. And my wife, if you guys don't know, she looks super nice and like super chill, but if you get on her bad side, it's game over. Well, Universal was on her bad side at that point because we waited 4 hours for this ride, and it kept like pausing it because of rain, and then it was like,
oh, there's your problem there.
But then we got up to it, and it broke. So like, oh, we're shutting down for the day. And so we were like literally next, and they wouldn't bring it. So Steph got super pissed. She goes up to like the help thing. I'm like, no, girl, you're fine. It's whatever. And she's like, no, we wasted 4 hours, blah, blah, blah. So then she complained, and she's like, no, you guys are giving me a full refund or a full day pass, no questions asked, whenever I want. And she's like, well, we can't give you a refund, but we can give you a full pass. So she gave our whole family full passes.
What?
And we went 2 days later right again. It was amazing.
Oh gosh.
So
Anyway.
yeah, if you want free stuff, just ask my wife.
Okay.
She's scary, bro, because she's so small. So
But so rides, yes, definitely long for
yes,
that. But then like sometimes like Chipotle, when it's a long line, you're in line for a half hour for that.
dude,
They
Chipotle.
should have never done online orders
Dude,
at Chipotle.
Don't
It's like
get me
longer now
started,
because
bro.
it's like you have the full line, plus they have to make the whole line of
Don't
orders,
get me
phone orders.
started on the online stuff, dude. Like even like Starbucks takes forever because then they're like doing onlines and then drive through. It's just so annoying. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's about it for waiting.
Yeah.
I've never had to wait an hour for a prescription at a pharmacy.
I guess the longest I've always waited though is going to on a plane. You always get there like 2 hours early just to make
Right.
sure, but then you don't actually need
You
that
have to
much
wait there for
time.
you get in
You
and out,
wait
in
for like
through the
an hour
line
and a
through like
half.
15 minutes, and
Dude, like I said, the fastest one was when I went recently to ICCC coming back from North Carolina, and their security check was literally having a dog walk around you and smell you for drugs. So then I got passed, and it was the dumbest, best, fastest checkpoint for an airport ever in my life. I didn't even have to take my shoes off, nothing out of the bads. It was awesome.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks for the question, Will.
Yeah.
Sorry it took so long for you to get your prescription, but it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's just go through our socials and we can get out of here. So, if you are looking to connect with us past this listening, there is a link in the description of wherever you're listening to this, but it is the links.co/Empire Radio. Links is spelled with 2 I's, and that is a landing page to everything: Facebook, Instagram, a link for our Discord, our YouTube. needlesslynerdy.com podcast network, which we are a part of. And as I said at the beginning of this episode, there is a link for the VCU illustration project, which I need everyone's help with. I have like 90 some voicemails I need to illustrate. And if you can draw, paint, digital art, anything, make it and send it. There's all the instructions and all the information you need is in that link, and how you can listen to those voicemails and everything. So we need that help, because it's going to be a great project once it's all put together, but I can't put it together until everyone sends in stuff. So, yeah, so 2 more weeks left of Kenobi, and then we'll be done until Andor. So
It's crazy, man. I feel like it's flying by. And Andor and Bad Batch, it's gonna be good. I'm super excited.
Yeah.
One more shout out for Lucy. Go check out her podcast for life and light
and life.
Yes, I'll get that right.
Yeah, so when I sent her the voicemail,
Mm-hmm.
I said it wrong. I said it backwards, and I had to redo it like multiple times. And the one time I got it, I did it. I was happy with what I sent, because like you can listen to a preview of it to make sure it sounds good. I accidentally double clicked. I double clicked, so like I couldn't. I recorded it, stopped it, and then it sent right away, so I couldn't listen to it. So I hope it sounded fine, but I was like, crap.
I should send her one too.
But yes.
But yeah, so yeah, go check her out, give her support. I know you guys love her VCU, and clearly she's doing other cool fan fiction stuff over there as well. And like Jeremiah said, there's smaller podcasts, so you don't have to like wait and listen if you want quick podcast, man.
Yeah.
Short form is the key right now, as we just got done wrapping a 2-hour podcast yourself.
Yep.
But yeah, I can't wait. Go check out all our socials too. Go check out go watch this episode with me on YouTube. Yeah.
All right, cool. That's everything, Drew.
Next week.
All righty. So you've been listening to another Kenobi-tastic episode of Empire Radio. I'm Jeremiah.
I'm Drew.
And may the Force be with you.
Always.